You just got to, I mean, no one wants to see those images we've been seeing out of Palestine. No one wants to see children suffering. No one wants to see people who are not able to access food. But it's a much more complex case than that. What do you imagine our great ally in the Middle East, the only democracy there in Israel, is going to make of what the Prime Minister's had to say this afternoon?
I think, and it would be difficult for me to speak on behalf of the Israeli government. As you point out, it is the only democracy in the Middle East, a democracy that is a very vibrant and boisterous one at the best of times. I think they would again be disappointed by the failure of the Prime Minister to understand the issues that are pertaining to Gaza, but also really disappointed that once again he's failed to bring his moral outrage to Hamas, a listed terrorist organisation, who've been stealing aid from aid convoys and then selling it on the black market. So, you know, if the Prime Minister is so full of moral outrage, like his Foreign Minister, Senator Wong, perhaps they could send some of that moral outrage towards Hamas instead of continually attacking the Israeli government.
Just, Senator, back on domestic politics, you will have heard the points I made about this roundtable next month. We've got Jim Chalmers, the unions, business, various other advocates, the ACTU this morning, saying that employers are to blame for the lack of productivity, not workers but employers. What did you make of the Grattan Institute now talking up the possibility of houses worth over $750,000 now being included in your assets as to whether you can get the pension or not?
Australians should be worried. Those who own their own homes of pensionable age should be worried about organisations, so-called think tanks like the Grattan Institute, coming up with, quite frankly, harebrained ideas like this. And as you pointed out, back in the 80s, other people had similar ideas. This is bonkers. It is an idea that's just been dreamt up by a bunch of bozos. And I would hope that the Labor government and that Minister Plibersek and all the other ministers do rule it out and make sure it is dead, buried and cremated. To quote a former leader of my party, we need to make sure that the family home stays that, a family home, and is something that should not be seen as a source of taxation revenue for a Labor government. And don't forget, I don't trust Labor when it comes to tax. Remember, this is a Labor Party who are going to tax unrealised gains in people's super funds. Now, yes, it's at $3 million. We'd all love to have $3 million in our super, but it's not CPI linked. Watch them lower it down over the years. And once they do this, they'll come after other assets also. With Labor, I don't trust what they say. I look at what they do, and that always scares me.
Yeah, and I'm also worried about that unredacted document that the ABC got their hands on through Freedom of Information that told the Treasurer, A, you're not going to make your housing commitment, it's never going to happen. B, you're spending too much money. And C, you've got to start taxing more.
And what the Labor Party don't realise is that if people start to cotton on to the fact that Labor are going to come after the money they've worked so hard for, people will then no longer invest money in the productive part of the economy. And we've got a talk fest coming up in a few weeks' time. You only have to look at what's happening in the UK at the moment, where the Labor Party there is taxing what's called non-doms. And they thought that they're going to bring billions of pounds of revenue coming in. In fact, the opposite has happened because the non-doms are all taking their money out of the country and leaving the country. And in Australia, we have a Labor Party who wants to raise taxes on the sectors of the economy who produce and are productive, then the reverse is going to happen.
Senator McGrath, good on you. Have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.